So, did you see that new movie, Loose Ends?
Yeah, it was great.
Alright. That guy in the news.
Who?
The guy who punted his kid across the football field.
Oh, it's her.
Alright. She was me and my dad.
Oh, I think your dad could punt
I
you.
meant when I was a kid.
Oh.
Gosh, you're an idiot.
Hey, don't call me an idiot.
Well, you are.
Give me the chip.
It's my chip.
Well, then why don't we just split in half?
No, I want the full chip.
Well, then I see only one way to settle this. You can know what I mean?
Let's do this.
Alright. This is a battle for the chip. We fight to the death. Whoever lives gets the chip.
Are you going down?
Yeah, we'll see about that. Battle starts in 3, 2, 1. Mike, buddy, still alive? Alright, I'm coming out. I don't know if you're dead or not. You can know what I mean?
Let's do this.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Christian Vergara from Mike and Chris 54, the channel whose videos range from music to filming to gaming and much more. Now, today's video will be about muzzle flares. Muzzle flares can drastically change the look of your action film or video, making for a much more realistic gunshot. Muzzle flares can be achieved in multiple ways, but we're just gonna be talking about how to add them digitally in a compositing software such as Adobe After Effects or whatever one you have. Now, to start off, let's talk about the guns we use. Here at Mike and Chris 54, we use airsoft guns. Now, I don't have any to show you right now, but nevertheless, airsoft guns are guns that shoot 6mm plastic BBs via air, hence the name airsoft. The guns are used for airsoft battles along with things like military training, police training, and even as movie props. When we are on set, we do not have these guns on or loaded because we do not want to be shooting each other with those little BBs that do hurt. They are powerful guns when they do shoot, so just don't turn them on or load them. The automatic guns require a battery, but there are spring guns that don't. They are only semi-automatic, but that wouldn't matter if you only intend on using these for movie props. The spring-powered guns are much cheaper than the battery-powered guns, but like I said, they're only semi-automatic. There are also gas and CO2 powered guns. These take either propane, green gas, or CO2, and can simulate the actual blowback of a gun without having to fire a round. Having said that, the gas guns are your best bet for realism besides the next step, blank firing guns, which I am not getting into today. Moving on, when you're finished filming the movie or video which you have the gun in, you can move on to editing. I'm using Adobe's After Effects to put in the muzzle flares, but for my edit, I did use Adobe's Premiere Pro. While you may not have these, like I said, don't worry, there are free compositing programs that can do the same as the expensive ones. So just do a Google search or search up on YouTube. There's a bunch of videos on compositing softwares that are free. When a gun is shot, there obviously is a sound. So we have to add a gunshot to add more realism. I did a Google search for gunshot sound effect. I found this website, sweetsoundeffects.com. This site is owned by Zach King, who is a fellow YouTuber. He owns the channel Final Cut King. Go and check him out. I have the link in the description. Now, this is probably the best free sound effects website that I found. I ended up downloading Gunpack 2 and SFX Pack 1. These packs come with some pretty high quality gunshots that vary by type of gun, amount of bullets fired, and so on. I only use sounds from Gunpack 2, but I will be keeping the first one just for future. I used M16 and TAR-21 sounds. Justin had an M16/M4 and Mike had an ACR. Now, there was no sound for an ACR, so I decided to go with a TAR-21 since I didn't want the same sounds for both of the guns. But no one's gonna know the difference because who knows the sounds of gunshots? I also added a debris scatter sound from Action Essentials 2-pack by Video Copilot, which is not free, but do a Google search for some debris sounds and I'm sure you'll find some. Now, this is not necessary, but again, it adds to realism. I also added a ricochet from sounddogs.com, which was free, and surprisingly, they had a huge selection of different sounds. So, added all together, I was happy with the result. So for the actual muzzle flare, I used Adobe's dynamic link to share the clips with After Effects. My flares are also from Action Essentials 2-pack, which, like I said, is not free. But online there are literally thousands of free muzzle flares available for use in your films, unless you were to find a way of getting Action Essentials 2 for free. I used the flare that was pointing at the camera since the gun was pointing at the camera when I shot this. Since this shot involved an automatic gun, that means multiple muzzle flares. So I had to track the position. So the way I did this is going under the muzzle flare clip, selecting transform, then turning on position keyframing and going frame by frame to track the position of the muzzle to match the position of the barrel of the gun. This gets a little frustrating, but hey, it's the job of an editor slash filmmaker. Now, after scrubbing through the clip multiple times to make sure it was all good, I then needed to add a light aspect to the clip. Since in real life, the flare would cast light onto its surroundings, that should be added to the clip to make it realistic. To add the lighting, I duplicated the clip of Justin, then set the blending mode to add, then I made a rough mask, feathered it to about 40 to 50 pixels, turned on path and position keyframing, and began altering the mask to fit Justin's face. That added realism to the shot. I saved it and I was done for that shot. I did basically the same for Mike's shot, except for one thing. It was a side angle, so I had to get a side-facing muzzle flare. I made it a 3D object and rotated it to match the angle of the gun's barrel. Then I adjusted and turned on keyframing for the X, Y, and Z position and rotation to make the flares seem much more realistic. For this shot, I also added a Gaussian blur because I didn't like the look of that sharp muzzle flare. It just seemed unsettling when I played it through. If you feel the same way, you may do the same, but that is optional. After all that, you should be done. Now, render it out and do what you please with the video. Here's my final result. Alright guys, that just about wraps it up for this week's video. Hopefully you've learned something from this week's video, and tune in next Friday for a video just like this, but on a different topic. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Just have fun doing those muzzle flares. Don't use real guns. Be safe. Make more films. Do it. So I'll see you later. This is Christian Vergara from MJC54, signing off. See ya.